Hello students, now let us take into account another environmental phenomena, that is ozone depletion. You might have heard about it many times. Now what we are going to study is that how it happens and what are the ill effects that it is causing to us from an environmental point of view. So basically ozone is a stratospheric layer. You know there are 5 layers of atmosphere, lowermost being troposphere, then there is stratosphere. That stratospheric layer, which is 20 to 26 kilometers away from the sea level, that means as we move upwards into the atmosphere at 20 to 26 kilometers sea level, above sea level, we are going to find this layer. It is nothing but O3. Ozone gas is present over there. Now this ozone gas is again present as a sheet, ozone sheet, that is known to be occurring over there. This ozone sheet, it helps us basically in all the living organisms on earth are being helped by this ozone sheet. How? Because the sunlight is not simply the sunlight that you see, it is having many components, out of which one harmful component is UV radiations. If they directly fall on our skin or they directly fall on earth's surface without passing through this O3, they are going to create many problems, like skin cancer is one of them. So this O3, what it does is, it is present as a sheet. When the UV radiation falls on it, it causes the photodissociation of this O3 into O2, that is oxygen gas, molecular oxygen and nascent oxygen. As soon as the UV radiation is going to fall on this photodissociation would take place and the heating effect of the UV radiation would be absorbed. That means this reaction is going to absorb the UV radiation's heat, which is later on recovered. This ozone is later on recovered, that this O, nascent oxygen, binds with O2 and forms O3. So there is a reversible reaction which is taking place as soon as UV radiation falls on O3, photodissociation takes place, which later combines both these components which are formed after photodissociation. They later on combine and O3 is generated, broken down and regenerated. This process is taking place in the atmosphere. Now what has happened in recent times, post-industrialization, gases like methane and chlorofluorocarbons. This methane is not as dangerous as these chlorofluorocarbons and nitrous oxide, of course. These gases, they rise above in the atmosphere, they reach till this level, and these chlorofluorocarbons, they release chlorine free radicals. You know what are chlorofluorocarbons? They are halogens with carbon. Carbon combines with halogen and they form chlorofluorocarbons. When they reach upper atmosphere, they produce chlorine free radicals which combine with this. Now this free radical is like a catalyst, that every time it is going to combine back, it is not going to take place because chlorine would come and combine. So oxygen would be broken down, ozone, not oxygen, pardon me. UV radiation would come and break down the ozone. Chlorine free radicals would themselves also break down the ozone, but the combination where this is being regenerated, that is not going to take place because of this and the UV radiation which is further coming. So in a way, the thick ozone sheet gets thinner and thinner and thinner, and that is known as ozone hole. It was discovered by a group of scientists in 1985 over Antarctica. The south pole of Earth has a thin layer of ozone from where the ozone has been depleted, all thanks to these CFCs and greenhouse gases which reach over there and they do not allow the ozone function in the way it usually does. That is, the reversible reaction is not carried out. One reaction is taking place in the presence of UV radiation, but the reaction which regenerates it, that has been stopped by these free radicals. So this ozone hole is a big problem for each one of us, whosoever is surviving on Earth, because it increases in size, it increases in the size of the thin layer of ozone, it increases. And how do we identify that the ozone has been thickened and it has become thin? That is done in the terms of a unit known as Dobson unit. This term you need to cram it or remember it if for your ease, that the unit of thickness of ozone is Dobson unit. The ozone hole was discovered in 1985 over Antarctica. Every year it is being observed where the ozone's thickness has been reduced greatly. And what are the ill effects? If there is some hole in ozone layer over Antarctica, it is not going to affect us. So we might not consider it as an environmental issue, but yes, it does have effect on everybody of us, even though it is on Antarctica, because these chlorine free radicals, they are never going to get used up. They are going to increase in number. They are going to make the ozone thinner and thinner and thinner, and as the ozone becomes thinner, this UV radiation, which was earlier trapped into this reaction only, will be able to penetrate the atmospheric ozone, and it would come down to the Earth's surface, and it would come and interact with the living beings. And what are the ill effects of UVB radiations? First thing is that it can cause cataract. It causes skin cancer condition. The productivity in case of plants is also declined whenever UVB radiations are coming unfiltered from the ozone. So these are the three direct effects that this UV radiation is going to create on the human beings and other living beings if it is not controlled by the ozone layer. So we get to know that ozone depletion is also an important environmental phenomena that we need to take care of, and there are various measures which are being taken at the global level. Again, I'm saying that there was a Kyoto Protocol which was being written, and Montreal protocols were signed, so that the chlorofluorocarbon release by the various industrial nations should be reduced and ozone depletion can be controlled. Thank you.